Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and it is time for Keep or Declutter again. I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks since I just shot my stash. I feel like that time just flew by. I actually had to look at the calendar to make sure it hadn't just been 1 week. So if you haven't seen one of these videos before, what I've been doing every other weekend is shopping my stash on the Sunday and then in 2 weeks come back on that Saturday and share with you how the products worked out for me, as well as tell you whether I'm going to keep or declutter the item. So I'm going to be going through all the products I recently shot my stash for 2 weeks ago. And this one are some surprises, I think. So I'm just going to kind of reach in my drawer. I tend to put all the items I'm using in my drawer here. So I'm just going to reach in and grab one rather than going through like the full face in order, which I normally do. So the palette I had chose out was from Lunar Beauty. This is the Greek Goddess color palette. It's really pretty to look at. It's a really big palette. I've had this for a long time and I don't like this. I've struggled with it over, I was gonna say over the years, but I don't know how long I've had this. A year maybe two. And I just struggle with it. I find the dark colors really difficult to blend, especially like everything in this bottom row here, or what you're looking at looks like the top row. I find them difficult to blend. They're hard to work with like each other. And then the shimmers either are very lackluster or they don't stick on the lid, tons of fallout, which normally isn't a big deal, but it like sticks on the skin and it's really hard to remove. Like even after you wash your face, it's still there. So this easy declutter, I'm gonna throw this on Poshmark. It's just not for me, and I think someone else could appreciate it a lot better than me. The other palette I picked out is from Zoeva, and this is, I don't know if you can see it if it's focusing. This is a Zoeva Sweet Glamour eyeshadow palette. Got this at Ross, and I hate this palette so much. So pastels can be done really well. I have a palette from Milani actually that's full of pastels, and I really like that one. But this one, there's just something about the tones and like the colors and the pigmentation that just makes me look sick. It makes me look ill, like I don't know, like I look at really bad allergies or something. I used several of these shades and I hated it every single time. There's just something weird about the pigmentation in here that doesn't work for me. They're just too much of like a light wash of color. And I know that, you know, pastels tend to kind of be that kind of thing, but this didn't work for me. The formula is not for me, or like my preference is nothing. So decluttering that. Oops, I did pick out 3 foundations. The Dermablend Flawless Creator Multi-Use Liquid Pigments. This one here, I love. I love this. I haven't used it in a very long time. I actually put up a video yesterday where I demoed it. So if you want to check it out, see how full coverage it is. It's full coverage. I'll link that video down below if you want to check it out. But these are like, the dropper, I don't really think it needed to have a dropper. It easily could have been a little pump. But I think this kind of helps maybe control how much you're getting. So you can mix this in with your other foundations, your moisturizer, whatever you want to mix it in with. And what I mixed it in with in yesterday's video is the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. And I really like this stuff. It's sheer coverage, but I think it works really well with this because it kind of amps up the coverage of this and then helps this kind of like blend better and look nicer on the skin. This is full coverage. You can use it on its own, but I would say test it out first. Like don't use it on like a big day, your wedding, anything like that. Try it out first, see how you like it, because I find that it breaks down really fast throughout the day and wears away really quickly unless I'm mixing it with something. It also can look very greasy on the skin throughout the day, at least in my experience, so gotta have some powder on you. But I like it enough to keep it. It has come in handy on days I want like a full face mask, and that one works really well for that. And of course I'm keeping the Glossier Skin Tint. I like this stuff, although it's sheer coverage. I like that look from time to time, so I like this one a lot. Gonna keep it. And then the Ordinary Serum Foundation. This has got to be expired, but it doesn't say. It says a 1-year shelf life. I know I've had this way longer than a year. I have this in the shade 2.0N, and it's a tad like dark for me, but I tend to like make it work. You could just, you know, even out your skin tone other ways. So this is like a true serum foundation. A lot of the times, or like a lot of the ones that are coming out now are foundations with serum. Just want to have here handy the Neutrogena Serum Foundation. This one I find is more of a foundation with serum in it, like skincare benefits. And it feels like foundation. It's creamy, you know, it's a typical foundation texture. Whereas the Ordinary one is a serum with pigment in it. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like you're putting on foundation, doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation at all. It's super, super watery. See how watery that is? Very, very, very thin. I mean, it's really like a serum with a lot of pigment in it. It's definitely the best serum foundation I've ever tried, or like of this kind of texture. It doesn't like wear all day long, but I also don't think it was kind of meant to, but it looks really pretty on the skin. It covers a lot. It's very, I think you could get this to very full like not full coverage, maybe it's just high coverage, like a nice medium, because it does have a ton of pigment in it. It's super old, and I don't know, I just don't wear it that much anymore, and I've had it for a very long time. I don't know, I feel bad letting it go, because I don't know what to do. Should I keep it? Because I use it every now and then, but other than shopping my stash now, I hadn't used it in a long time. I'm gonna keep it for now. I'll keep it for now. These two from Too Faced, this was the blush I picked out, and this is the bronzer. This is their Sweethearts Baked Luminous Glow Bronzer, and then the Perfect Flush Blush. I don't think they make these anymore. Let me double check, because I kept saying that in yesterday's video, and I'm actually not even sure. So I don't see it on Too Faced's website, but I do see the Papa Don't Peach blush, which is good. That's one of my favorites, and I was always worried it was going to get discontinued. So these are no longer available. They're just nostalgic products I had to pull out and use. I love these a lot. They're beautiful. This is the bronzer, and then this is the blush. Love it. Wore it every single day, and I loved it. I'm wearing it again today really lightly. So yes, gonna keep these forever for nostalgic purposes. Okay, I had the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter glow stuff. What is it called? Or is it just called Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow? I used this also in yesterday's video. I have here the shade Too Fair. And this I kind of felt was, I don't know, a little bit like, I don't know, the first couple times I was gonna declutter this just because I found it to be kind of useless on my skin. But someone left me a comment in yesterday's video saying that, you know, even though I powdered my skin, it still looked glowy, like you could still see a glow through it. So maybe this did do something. And then as I kept using it over the couple of weeks, I ended up really liking it and enjoying it. I do like it more on days that I'm using just concealer, that I'm not using like the dermablend foundation. I'm just doing concealer and light powder or something like that. This comes in really handy for that because it kind of gives you that nice little glow through your skin. Not like a highlighter all over your face. It does look like a highlighter though, like really shiny, but I think it looks more like freshly applied skincare. And e.l.f. actually just put out a product very, very similar to this. I guess it's supposed to be a dupe. I'm not a huge fan of those kinds of dupes when a product puts something out that's literally trying to copy something that already exists and it's very popular. That's not something I usually want to get. It kind of turns me off from the product, which is why I never purchase from Makeup Revolution, and I never will. But I kind of want to try that. I kind of want to see how similar it is to this. So yeah, I might check that out, but I am going to keep this. I said all that to say I'm going to keep it. The two highlighters I picked out, I got the Makeup by Mario Soft Glow Highlighter. This is the shade Pearl. And I was going to declutter this because I didn't use it. I didn't use it once other than in yesterday's video. And I had no desire to use it. I put it on today because I wore it in yesterday's video and I really liked it. It's a really soft, pretty kind of pinky color. There's a little swatch of it there. Kind of looks just like the Charlotte Tilbury thing. It's a really nice, soft, like just a lightly glowy powder, not like a highlighter. I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like this doesn't seem like you highlighted your skin. It just looks like a natural radiance kind of right there. I don't know. And I liked it. But I think I'm just going to declutter this. You know, I didn't want to use it. I never picked it up for 2 weeks and it's been lost in my highlighter collection this whole time. So I'm going to let this go. I think someone else might love it more than me because I think I'm going to use it and then be like, it's good. And I already know like it's good, but I don't want to keep it, I guess. So declutter. The other highlighter I picked up was the Wet n Wild Fantasymakers highlighter in the shade Halo Effect. This is like from their, what usually is a Halloween line, Fantasymakers, but they had it out last summer, the summer before, just kind of like, I don't know, at Walmart for some reason. And I thought I loved this. I use it every single day. And it's a really pretty, like light pink kind of highlighter. But this has such a white undertone to it that at work, it looked white on my skin. Like I had put a white setting powder right here and forgot to dust it off. And I was looking at it all day, it drove me nuts. So I am gonna declutter this, although it's pretty, it doesn't work for me and I don't love that white tone that it has. This is the Believe Beauty Matte Blur Loose Powder in the shade Translucent. I am gonna declutter this. It's mattifying, but it's almost like too powdery. I don't really know how to describe it, but it looks like I put powder on my face, and if I don't set it with like a setting spray, it just looks powdery and heavy, and I don't know how to, like, it picks up too much on the brush I use. I don't know, it's just not for me, you know. I feel like I have loose powders that I like a little better than this, and this one I just don't like the user experience either, so gonna let that go. I think the last thing, oh, I had a primer, I forgot, and a mascara. So I have the Melon Jelly Dewy Primer XXL from the Beauty Crop. I think I got this in Ipsy, or most likely Ipsy. I feel like they send a lot of this brand. And this is just like a watermelon dewy primer. And I loved this. I loved using this all the time. I used like quite a bit of it up. I don't know if you can see that big dent I made. But I feel like I'm using too much because I tend to put enough in my hand that it's like a moisturizer. And I'm like rubbing it on my whole face and neck. Just because it's so lightweight, it has a little bit of that watermelon scent. It feels refreshing, not sticky at all. It sinks into the skin nicely. And I like it. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to use it up. I'm actually kind of shocked I like it as much as I do. And the last product I think I have in my bag, let me go get it. Oh, I have two products actually, the mascara and the setting spray. So this is the Fenty Beauty lengthening, oh no, the full Fenty Beauty full frontal mascara. I actually forgot completely about this until yesterday. Wore it for the first time yesterday and wearing it again today. It's fine. It's just too natural for me, even though I try to build it up. It does leave my lashes feeling super soft, like almost like there's nothing on them. So if you like that kind of thing, you like your lashes to feel really soft, this one, I think my lashes feel super soft. It's just too natural. It's too natural of a look for me, and I feel like when I have a lot of eyeshadow on, I want my lashes to look like this big and black and full and look like a big fan in front of the color on my lids, and this is not going to give that to me. But that being said, I wouldn't feel comfortable giving this to anybody, so I don't want it. I'm gonna declutter it, but I'm gonna keep it because I think I'll just have to use it up as like a layering mascara or something and like try to use it that way, unless you could think of something else I could do with it. But I don't want it, but I don't really know what else to do with this, so I'm gonna call it declutter, but I think I'm gonna have to keep it anyway because that's kind of weird to give it to somebody. And then the last thing is the Revlon Rose Glow Mist. This is like a little facial spray. You can see half of it's oil and then half of it's like a regular liquid. Got to shake it up before use so you can kind of mix it up and get a little oil in each spray. So this here says prep, hydrate, and refresh. It's got their Superfruit Complex Biphase formula, awakens skin to extra hydration and a boosted glow. Shake well before use. Wear alone prior to makeup or after makeup to refresh skin throughout the day. So I didn't like this in any capacity. I didn't love the sprayer. I don't love this liquid in here. It's so oily, which might be okay as like a primer oil type of thing, but I don't like the scent of it whatsoever. It leaves my face looking so greasy, like a mirror finish greasy, and putting on top of makeup, like forget it. This stuff, I don't like this for anything at all, and another declutter there. So I think that's everything. I think that was everything I shot my stash for. Let's just round up the declutters real quick. Believe Beauty powder, the Wet n Wild highlighter, Makeup by Mario highlighter, and then both of the palettes, the Zoeva and the Lunar Beauty. If you're interested in any of these, I'm gonna put them on my Poshmark. I always have it listed in my description box in case you want to see anything I have for sale. I list everything super cheap because I just want it like out of here. And then the Rose Glow Mist, I'm gonna let go of that too. So that is it. That is my keeper declutter for this round of Shop My Stash. Let me know what you think of these products. Have you tried any? I would love to know your experience as always. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.